What's going on, guys? Welcome to Binged, episode number 11.
Game of Thrones.
There's no Jordan. There's no Jordan this week. It's just Brian and I.
He did.
Jordan is on vacation, and the internet that he has currently will not allow him to do this. So we are doing this. We're going to talk this week about episode 9 of Game of Thrones, which is titled Battle of the Bastards, and my God, it was good.
It was
Brian,
the best.
What'd you think about the episode? First impressions, as they say.
I liked it a lot. Didn't have any issues. Pretty much. I mean, it was a very predictable episode, but it was pretty much just like catering to the fans. You know, there was no like twist or anything like that we didn't see coming. I was slightly afraid for Jon Snow's life, to be honest. I didn't think. I wasn't 100%. If it was like, it wasn't like confidence. You know, I was slightly concerned. Really cool thing. I just actually found out. This episode was directed by the same person, Miguel Sapochnik, who did Hard Home as well. So
yeah, I know. I think Jordan mentioned that last week.
Very talented man. So.
It was crazy. Like, no wonder the past 3 episodes have been shitty because the budget for this had to be ridiculous.
Well, I mean, that's why we had on-screen death or off-screen deaths, rather. You know. So
yeah, it was nuts. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
That was
as many bodies and stuff.
That was like higher scale than a lot of movies.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that felt like Saving Private Ryan and Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess it was pretty Saving Private Ryan level. By the way, I'm not in Ohio either. I'm in California right now. In Sacramento, yeah. At the Grin offices. You can see the logo over there. Grin.
Cool.
So we're calling in right now to GFQ, and John Bubb is producing the episode for us because John Bubb is Jesus. Pretty much. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he might not be like a messiah, but he's definitely...
No, I think he is. I think he is.
I mean, we're not going to start a religion based around John Bubb unless you really, really want to.
You're not. I am.
Well, I feel like he wouldn't appreciate that very much.
My impressions of the episode were... See, Brian, you seemed very, like... You seemed calmed down. Like, yesterday we were both freaking out about how good it was, and today you're just like, it was okay. It was good.
I mean, that's all I can say is how good it was. I actually just watched it, or finished watching it, like, maybe a half hour ago, maybe right before the podcast. So I watched it again. I saw it again. Yeah, with my sister. So
it was... that is, like, the best episode of Game of Thrones they've ever made. It was so good.
It's funny. It's very easy to forget everything that happened. I mean, we saw, of course, the Battle of the Bastards, Jon's forces against Ramses, but then we also saw a lot in Meereen of Daenerys and her and the Greyjoys, and it was a very good episode. I like that there's only really 2 settings, but they covered a lot. So
Yara made it before Euron.
Yeah, they have jetpacks or something. They're getting around really fast.
I know. It took 2 episodes.
I mean, they don't obviously tell you how much time has passed, but Jesus, they fucking have a teleporter. So, what if... I was going to say, what if... I was going to say Daenerys was like... Somehow all that stuff was like 20 years ago, but then Theon and Yara are there, and they're like still the same age. So it doesn't really fit. So no time travel theory.
Yeah, I don't think
so. What were you going to
say? There was a lot of stuff. Like, it opened up crazy, too. With Meereen being attacked and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It was actually really funny.
It wasn't that funny.
Daenerys talking to Tyrion and him being like, we're good. And then the ceiling is shaking and you hear like explosions. Yeah. I also really liked the fact that Yara was essentially hitting on Daenerys.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
That's how I would do it.
I brought up a scene list. There was really only about 2 scenes. Like, it's 2 settings, rather. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the whole thing with... yeah, it was great. It was just... They covered so much in only 2 places, and they got really far. Like, the whole thing with the Masters that were left alive. And then they actually attacked Meereen, and then Grey Worm got a double kill. It was pretty fantastic.
Dude, yeah. I think that the Tyrion speech after Drogon came and destroyed everything was the best Tyrion speech I've heard. It was just so confident.
It was
and awesome.
really good, and I like how in the beginning when the scene opened up, or rather when the show opened up, we saw Daenerys' kind of crazy side. She wanted to crucify the Masters.
Yeah,
like legitimately, and then Tyrion's like, "Whoa there, you're kind of going crazy. Let's not burn the city down."
Right.
So
I like how when Yara was like, "I want you to give us back the Iron Islands," or she asked about it or whatever, and Daenerys was like, "Yeah," and Tyrion was like, "Well, I mean, are you going to give everything to anyone that asks for something?"
And she's like, "They're just asking, not demanding." Like she was totally cool with she has like bros now. Hey, you want to be queen? I want to be queen. Let's be queens together.
Which I really like the chemistry between Daenerys and Tyrion right now.
Yeah,
I think they're a perfect fit.
It's funny that he is slightly afraid of her a little bit.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I'd be more afraid of her because she's kind of crazy. So that'd be what I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, I kind of I think I'm gonna rewatch it tonight too because it was really really good. Yeah. I mean, so first scene was Marine. It's getting destroyed. Daenerys comes in fucking with a dragon. Now, do you think that was a good payoff with that, or
that's yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, they only did really take out one ship, but the music was the best part of that entire scene.
The music has been really good this season.
That specific track when she was flying around in Drogon was absurdly good. That was John Williams, Steven Spielberg level good.
I wonder if the composer's different this season because for some reason the music is definitely better this season. Even when Arya last week or whatever was I'm with Doc. The music that was playing behind it was really, really good.
I'm not no one, Steely. I'm with Thor. Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
It's just the music was really good. I just don't know if okay, so obviously I'm a big Daenerys fan.
I mean, she's actually good now, so I don't blame you.
Right. But I don't know if the payoff was good enough.
What do you mean?
Okay, the payoff... Okay, I take that back. The payoff was good. The lead-up was bad. I wasn't afraid ever for her, which sucks. Okay, so when she was captured by the Dothraki...
Yeah.
That was
I was concerned.
No, I mean, but that was good. The payoff there was good... Because I didn't see it coming, sort of deal. And it was just okay, how's she going to get out of there? How's this going to happen? But when Marine's getting, attacked at such a crazy level, that was scary. But it was so predictable of her just walking in the door. And once she's there, it's just well, wonder what's going to happen next.
Everything I'm seeing looks like... what is his name here? The same... I guess composer did all the episodes for season 6. Ramin Djawadi, I think I said it correctly. He's done all the episodes so far for season 6 at least.
I mean, has he done the other seasons?
I'm looking
because I feel like it's a noticeable difference.
That's what I think too. Yeah, I was feeling the same thing.
I definitely figured that it was the same composer for the season.
I mean, he did the theme song for Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So there's definitely some talent there, regardless of how long he's worked on the show.
Props to that man. We need to get him on here in an interview.
Well, looks like he's done every episode. He's done 60 episodes. So,
what are the odds you think we could get him on?
Probably pretty bad. I mean,
I think we could do it.
I mean, I think
just make music for Game of Thrones. It's not like we're getting Jon Snow on here.
He's an Iranian-German composer. Interesting. He also scored Iron Man. That's pretty cool.
That man has good taste.
Yeah. He's 41.
Look at that. That means he's got a lot of life left to create more music.
There you go. He could be our dads. our dad.
Okay.
It'd be weird because he's Persian.
That's not what I'm asking
Iranian,
for. I just want more music.
German. I mean, he can compose my life if he wants. That's
It'd
fine.
probably be a lot better.
You're funny. But how did you feel about the... I thought this entire episode was actually written really well. So, like, in terms of the conversations between Jon and Ramsay when they were, like, meeting on the battlefield, you know?
Dude, oh my God, I'm getting
the only thing
goosebumps.
it was missing, I think, was whenever Ramsay goes to leave, he says to Jon, I think he says something like, tomorrow, bastard. I was waiting for Jon to say it back to him to really try to get under his skin, because I know Ramsay reacts that way. That's the only thing I think it was missing. Everything else was on point, down to
well, I think
Jon.
I think the reason like they wrote it that like I think you're right. I think that would have been cool, but I think they were really trying to differentiate the personalities.
But that's the thing about the show that kind of irks me is they go like so ham-fisted with it, like with the whole Arya thing and with the Faceless Men. It was just like they could have had this really obscure and thing about it. It was just, but it was more like essentially Jaqen goes, "Welcome to the Faceless Men. You're no one," and Arya's like, "I'm not no one," and
I'm
like
not
she
no
just,
one.
it's just so clearly laid out, and like yeah, I see what you mean. Like with that entire scene, they were trying to lay out like, hey, here's Jon. He's a good military commander, but he's not as clever as Ramsay.
And they even they went as far to explain the difference, like as if we didn't already know. Like we've followed these characters for 6 seasons, and we still had Sansa stand there and literally explain character arc to us.
She seriously just did like exposition right there. She just write an essay on like, you guys are different characters. Like that's exactly. She was like, like Kit Harington, you're doing a different job as Jon Snow. You know, like it's just essentially what she said. It was just so
okay, who's the guy that plays Ramsay? Because I texted you last night.
Ewan Rowan, something like that. Let me see.
That is one of the best actors I've ever seen, and I don't know why. He's just so like it's so believable.
Ewan Ryan, if I said that right. His name is a fucking jumble of consonants.
He does crazy so well.
See, like normally on Wikipedia, if you were to look up at look up someone's name, it gives you the phonetic pronunciation. Yeah. This doesn't have one. I think it's Ewan Ryan or something. I don't fucking know. It looks like it's spelled backwards or an anagram for like some type of food. So it's crazy.
Okay, so the Daenerys thing was cool. I mean, trying to just wrap that scene up. It wasn't predictable until last week when like we kind of figured out what was going to happen. I think the scene itself was just amazing. What is so funny?
Oh, just like you said, like last week we saw Daenerys writing a letter, and the show's like just basically screaming like, "I'm writing a letter to Littlefinger." Like it was just the most.
What you said? Daenerys is. Daenerys
I'm sorry.
Did not write a letter to Littlefinger.
I meant Sansa. They're the same people.
Yeah. I mean, I am a big fan of that whole scene. This whole episode was just really well produced in terms of quality. Like the visuals were crazy.
Oh God, yeah. I was like actually getting really like panicky and like really tense whenever Jon was getting like trampled by the retreating army.
Obviously I watched it by myself. Mm-hmm. And I was legitimately standing. Like I kept getting up and standing and looking because I had to like get closer to the TV. It was ridiculous. But like I was worried. I was convinced that I wasn't convinced. I was like 70% convinced that Jon Snow was dying again.
Whenever he was facing off on like against 100 fucking people.
100.
Well, there were directly in front of him.
Yeah, like okay, so when first of all, the kid, fucking
Rickon,
yeah.
Who the kid?
That was awesome too. Like I didn't want him to die, but I mean, it really, I really like Ramsay's character, and I'm sad that he's dead. Like there's people that you hate, like dead. When Joffrey was on screen, I hated him so much. Like I could not stand him. But even though Ramsay's a piece of shit, I still really enjoy the character. I'm really into like that crazy aspect of things. I don't know why, because that's me.
Well, I think that you would you'd be a very Ramsay type character.
Because of the Joker? Because I like the Joker?
Just in general, I think that just
he's very Joker-esque.
You're very sick, so. But
all right.
No, yeah, I mean, I'll miss his character in some form, but at the same time, I actually kind of hate him, like more than Joffrey, because he was
what?
He was more of a threat. Awesome. He was more of a threat to characters I actually care about. So
yeah, I mean, So when he killed Rickon, first of all, like the pacing of that was so. Like, it's one of those things I stood up for because, like, my anxiety was off the charts. And then
it was very solid.
Just like the whole Jon fucking Snow, dude. So awesome. Like, him going after Rickon, his reaction after he got killed. Like, first of all, when he stood there with the entire army just running at him, I thought he was dead. Like, I was just like, well, this is too honorable. This is just, I don't want to see him die like this. And I was too sad. Because, I mean, like, you're not in the, like, in that moment, you're not like, oh, they'll probably just run past him. No, fine.
I mean, I was like trying to, as soon as that scene came up, I was like trying to plan and see like, how can he get out of this? And I didn't think about that until it happened. But,
I mean, even in the, like, the behind the scenes thing, the writers said, like, they really wanted to just, like, really demonstrate how much luck played a part in him living. Because, I mean, it was. I mean, first, he's incredible with a sword, but, I mean, most of that was just because he got super lucky.
I mean, a lot of that was him dodging arrow barrages. So
yeah,
there was. Bridget and I were watching it last night whenever it premiered, and I compared him to. It's gonna be lost on you. I wish Jordan was here because I feel like he'd understand the reference. Maybe Achilles. You know who that is, John?
Yes.
Do you?
He's the Achilles heel guy.
He's the heel guy.
We were buds.
You're right. Just like a character in, I guess it was considered mythology, just favored by the gods. Just a regular, like, mostly human guy, but like that's what I feel like Jon Snow is. Like, he just has like absurd amounts of luck, you know.
Right.
And it's really cool to watch. Like, just the arrows all missing him, and just, you know, like, he did fight well. It was just more like, so maybe the Lord of Light is looking out for his like seneschal or whatever.
Yeah. So. It was like, there was a couple times during all of that, like, okay, when the army was running towards him, I was like, oh my god, it's over. But like I could see him, like, that would be the way to kill Jon Snow again.
Have him be just trampled by a fucking army? No,
but like him being like willing to take everyone on, knowing that he's gonna die. He just, you know. I mean, right. I think that makes more sense than him just like, whoops, stab in the face. that would piss me off if Jon Snow died again because of something like that. That'd be stupid.
Oh, there was also a really great scene with Tormund. Whenever he was facing, I
thought he was dead.
No, whenever he was facing off against the Small John for the Umbers, it was great because the Small Johns consider themselves to be giants, and Tormund's fucking name is Tormund Giantsbane.
Yeah,
it was just like, good job with the symbolism. And also, fucking Ramsay, an early episode, I think it was when he was talking to Theon or something, he mentioned that he always wanted to shoot a giant in the eye.
Oh,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah. So like they're really great at calling back to things like that, and you know, and just his death was so satisfying. Good God, it was very good. Yeah.
So I think another point where I was kind of scared for Jon Snow was when he was fucking getting crushed.
Oh
by
God,
bodies.
Yeah, that was actually making me like very claustrophobic.
Well, did you think he was going to die? Were you at all scared for him?
I mean, the entire production felt like it was leaning towards him dying, with like the sound drowning out and the lights going away, but at the same time, I feel like he already had like way too much plot armor, you know?
So, I guess, yeah. His talk with Melisandre was great too. It's like, if I fall, don't bring me back. And she's like, well, I don't listen to you. So fuck off.
I was actually hoping she was in it more because I like her character a lot.
I know it's really sad that she hasn't been really around this season.
They're probably saving it for
you bring someone back to life and they can't pay you as much.
They're probably saving it for next episode more than anything. You know, I would assume have Davos have his reaction.
We're gonna get to I forgot about that scene where he kind of
because I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen as soon as as soon as they mentioned that this is Stannis' camp. I was just like, oh, is it? You just point that out for no reason? Like, from there I knew he was gonna find Shireen.
From the preview last week, I knew like the preview like gave it away last week, and then in the last time on Game of Thrones or whatever, before the episode actually played, they showed Shireen.
Yeah.
So obviously,
well, I mean, a couple weeks ago they showed. He mentioned that they camped there, or Stannis camped there for a reason, you know, and like I think it was when they were walking through whenever they had gotten the forces from Bear Island, the Mormont forces. They mentioned it then. I was like, oh, he's gonna find the remains. Like I just felt it in my body. So it was really, really good. Man, solid episode.
I mean,
10 out of 10 with episode again.
10 out of 10. So, trying to think. There was a few times when I was pretty sure Tormund was going to die. Because I felt like if he's going to die, that would have been the moment, you know, fighting for Jon Snow sort of deal. Mm-hmm. But that man is a badass.
Yeah, he really is. I appreciate him. But there were certain points, like, they really made the distinction. Again, very heavy-handed with the whole delivery of it. They mentioned, like, early on when they were talking about battle plans, he didn't know what flanking was and things like that. And then they actually, like, came back to that whenever, like, they got locked in that formation with the shields and the spears and the pile of bodies behind them. Mm-hmm. And he had everybody run, you know, like, everyone was like, I'm out. So, like, that really showed, like... It's just another way they called back to, like, lack of training and things like that. You know, like, it was just... I don't know if it's... I can't tell if they're being really, really obvious with it, or maybe I'm just becoming more adept at noticing, like,
you notice a lot of these things, and, I mean, that's just how TV is nowadays. You have to explain things.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like it's just being very, very heavy-handed, or... Like, I mean, we're just becoming more jaded, more educated. Most of the time,
these names are lost to people. Like, they just know the characters' faces and stuff. They don't even know their names.
Like, someone considering or thinking that Daenerys' name is Kelly C. Yeah. So, yeah, I know what you mean. I've heard that.
Are you serious?
It was I saw it somewhere stupid whenever the show was first coming out. No one knew anybody's names. It was just like Fat King, Angry Snow Guy, like short dude, and just like
speaking
dumb,
of angry snow guy. The Veil comes in.
Oh yeah.
Helps defeat the Ramses, and then Ramsay, you know, runs back to Winterfell, and they chase him. Obviously,
yeah.
Jon Snow beating the shit out of Ramsay was so satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
That has to be one of the most badass things Game of Thrones has ever done. When he's just walking towards the arrows.
Yeah. Oh, it was so very cathartic. Like, it just felt so, like, terrible, but, like, gratifying.
And that's not Game of Thrones of them to do.
No.
Like, to make the hero that badass.
Oh, no, not that, but them, like, indulging the fans. And that's the exact same thing that happened with Joffrey's death. The only thing they didn't do was play it back in slow motion with, like, a dubstep remix. Like, they glorified it, like, that's what they did.
I just feel like it's not very them to let us have a moment like that. Where,
yeah.
I mean, these are the same people that killed Jon Snow. Like,
I really
have a moment of just, like, flawless badassery.
I really appreciate that they're getting away from just being the gimmicky show that no one is safe. Ooh. You know, like, so they're going to be kind of safe. Like, you know, like, at this point, plot armor is a thing. So at least they're not just being, like, edgy for the hell of it and ruining a good story. So,
what do you think about Sansa?
I mean, I think eventually that her and John are going to have some differences, but hopefully by this point they're just like, you know what, we're going to stick together. And someone brought up the fact, sorry, I just burped a little bit, that that Littlefinger might marry her off to Robin. You know, I really hope that isn't the case. I mean, that would be a very logical choice.
Because in the preview for next week,
yeah,
I forget his exact words, but
he's like, you know what I want. Like that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at this point, he deserves it because he kept Jon Snow alive.
He doesn't actually. He doesn't deserve.
He does.
No. He would have been resurrected anyway. He has like a couple respawns left. So,
I mean, but you can only be resurrected if you're not in pieces, which I'm pretty sure he would have been.
You don't know that.
You can't just stitch them all back together. There's got to be something left.
You don't know that.
I do know that. I do know that. I'm pretty sure they referenced that before.
They probably have duct tape in Westeros.
I don't think so, though. I mean, I saw a picture of Littlefinger wearing a watch on set.
Wait.
So he had a smartwatch on.
Really?
It's actually in the show. Yeah, Google it. Type Littlefinger smartwatch. In one of the episodes, you could see his smartwatch under his sleeve.
Google is so fucking stupid. I started typing Littlefinger smart watch, and as I was looking at all the autocorrections to see if maybe it was just in there.
Yeah.
And fucking like, just like the dumbest combinations of things. There's like Littlefinger smartphone, little smart finger watch. Like,
oh my god.
Then it said Littlefinger smart finger. I'm like, who the fuck is searching this stupid shit? Oh god. Littlefinger best deals plus free shipping. What the fuck?
Just spell it out. Spell it out. Hit enter.
That's what I have up. It's just dumb.
Google Images.
I guess I have to. Google Images.
I didn't think this process was going to be so tedious.
Well, it is, John. It is. You done goofed, son.
If you don't find it,
I don't see anything. No.
Someone send it to Brian, because Jesus Christ. Type
Just
Littlefinger watch, maybe?
Littlefinger watch. Oh.
Is
that it? No.
It's literally him standing in a scene. And you can, anyway, fuck it, I don't care.
I see it.
Okay, good. Jesus, that took so long.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, whatever. Fuck you.
So Ramsay gets shit beat out of him. Again, then gets his face ripped off by a dog. Do you think that, like... Are you a fan of, like... I don't know. I feel like...
Dismemberment?
This season especially...
Sometimes.
I feel like this season especially, they're really playing to women power.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I thought that from the very beginning of the season. Like, it was... The first episode was all about, like, women taking over and how powerful they are. Like,
I never
Cersei,
considered that,
like,
but
reminding everyone how strong she is.
Cersei doesn't have any power, though. That's like the...
This is the first episode.
That's always kind of been a trope. That's always been a trope ever since Daenerys first really got power through the dragons or over Drogo. Like,
but that's
always
just Daenerys.
Kind of been present.
I'm talking about, like, these are all... that was just Daenerys at the time.
No, but I mean,
they're
Cersei
doing
was
it
always
with multiple
around.
characters now.
Cersei was always around and always... She was more powerful before this season than she is now. I mean, she was...
No,
Brian, it was her and then Daenerys show, and then Catelyn was around. I can't hear you.
Brian, listen. I'm not saying it was never present. I'm saying that's like the focus of this season. There was no powerful men other than what, Ramsay?
Jon?
He let go of all his power and went and listened to Sansa. He was listening to her.
Winterfell back
because of her. Because of her.
No, she couldn't
have
done it without him. They're working together,
and he wouldn't have done it without her. He would not have done it. He did not give a shit about Winterfell.
But that's different than he couldn't have done it without her. I mean, he would have failed, yes.
I hate you. You could just agree with me and we'd be fine.
No, fuck you. Fuck you and die.
Jesus. Ramsay's dead. Cool. Now, Brian.
Yes.
That's this episode. That was that episode. The season finale is next week.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks. But what do you expect? I was thinking that we were going to be a little further along by the season finale in terms of like what we've been getting for like the first half of the season, where like Bran is getting all these visions and like that was really heavily focused, and then the second half of the season was just like meh.
Yeah.
Meh. So no, like I figured we'd be moved further along with his storyline. We would know more, hopefully with Lyanna, but we don't yet. So now I don't know how it's going to end. Like instead of like I was thinking that by the end, like the White Walkers would be that like it'd be a cliffhanger. The White Walkers coming into the wall, but now I think they're just going to end it with fucking Lyanna's secret about Jon Snow.
That's fine. I mean. That could be it, but I think there's going to be a lot with Cersei. I mean, her fucking trial is coming up, and I think this is when she's going to start hatching the plans to blow the city up. There's a lot that could happen. I mean, fucking Daenerys actually has a fleet and is preparing to go to Westeros. That's huge. Like, she's actually getting out of Meereen. So, I think we're going to see a lot of build, which is fine. I don't really care about any big twists. I just want to see some closure at this point and start getting things wrapped up, you know?
So, end of the season is Cersei focused. I would love for her to like start with the wildfire by the end of the episode. Hi, Brandon. Yeah. I would love to see like something triggered from that before the end of the season, you know what I mean?
I agree. It'd be nice.
I would like to see some destruction. I don't want him to like leave a cliffhanger where we're waiting for next season to see Cersei do anything. I want destruction, and then we'll wait a year.
I mean, they're not going to blow the city up yet.
But I think they could and just leave it at that, and I'd be happy.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is she's going to plan to do it, and then Jaime's going to find out and fucking kill her. So...
Which I think I texted you guys.
Us guys some point during the week. Jordan and Brian?
Jordan and Brian. I texted you and I was like, Jaime's going to kill Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a Cersei hater. That's the problem. I like Cersei. And I like Jaime. And I don't really want Jaime to kill Cersei. But if that's what they're going to do... That would be good for the show, bad for Jon.
I'd rather have... Yeah, I'm okay with Jaime killing Cersei. Because Cersei's...
Why?
Her time's up.
Do you not like her?
Essentially.
Do you not like her?
I mean, I like her in a villain sense. I think she's a horrible person, and, like, it's time for her to go. Like, she has no redeeming story left, really. It's only her downward spiral. So, I mean, it's fun to watch, but at the end of it, like... She's just going to be a tool for another character's redemption. You know what I mean?
I feel like Tommen has to die before she dies.
I mean, Tommen dying will probably be her trigger, so we'll see.
Like it triggers the wildfire and her going crazy and stuff.
He has to die anyway to fulfill the Valancourt prophecy, however you say that. It was given to her from Maggie the Frog. It mentioned all of her kids dying and all of her joy turning to
specifically that she was going to watch all of her kids die.
Yeah, so I mean, he kind of has to die at this point. So
yeah,
so that should be it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'm really excited I'm excited and depressed that the season finale is here. Yeah. I hope that they continue the energy. Like this episode was so good, and I really don't want it to slow down. Like the beginning of the season was moving pretty quickly, and then the past few weeks have been meh. And then they really picked it up, and like I'm very, very happy with the last episode. And I regret saying anything nasty about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
That usually happens. I talk a bunch of shit, and then they come up with something good, and then I take it back.
It's almost like you're always wrong.
But I'm not. Just sometimes.
So is that the pood?
I think that is it. Again, Jordan was not here this week. We'll try to get him on next week.
He's dead.
He's not dead. He's on vacation. I'm not, but I'm also not in Ohio, so...
Vacation.
We're going to keep it short and wrap it up. I think we've said all we need to say, right?
I think so.
Great episode of Game of Thrones. Great episode of Binge. 10 out of 10 on both parts.
And great fans.
Great fans. Brian, where can the people find you on the Twitter?
At bshoop with 4 O's.
And at John_Prosser for me. And of course, you can follow Binged at Binged Podcast on the Twitter sphere and bingedpodcast.com to get the video version of this. Of course, if you're listening to the audio, and then if you want the audio, you can pretty much find it where podcasts are available. And that is it. We hope you have a lovely week and keep the thrones alive. Bye.
Bye.